Good morning. Oh, wow. Hey, can I hear a good morning from all of you? Good morning. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is, I feel like the voice of God here is very loud. First of all, welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you attending our annual meeting and keeping up with all of the ongoings in Silver Bay. We're going to just move right along. This is, in our new setup, you can see all of our board members with their name tags in front of them. And by the way, you can also find their names, pictures, and bios online on the website. But these are the people who've been working hard all year with management to keep the positive progress going at Silver Bay. So with that, I would like to, again, welcome you all and invite Noni Pearson to come. McPherson, come up and do the invocation.
Good morning. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our annual town hall meeting. As we move towards Silver Bay's 125th anniversary next year, we have a chance to reflect on our past, present, and future. We honor the generations who have come before us to shape Silver Bay as a place of renewal and purpose. Today, we are reminded of our mission to cultivate relationships, strengthen communities, and nurture spirit, mind, and body for all. We continue to be inspired by our focus on belonging and service, and we reflect on our core values of integrity, honesty, accountability, respect, and truth. Silver Bay is a special place where people come together, surrounded by nature's beauty. Seeing how the sun's reflection shimmers on the lake reminds us of a life beyond ourselves. It also inspires us to look for the light within ourselves and to find the light in each other. Silver Bay is a caring community that values each individual. While people take back the sense of community at Silver Bay to their respective communities near and far, we also strive to strengthen and grow our local community. I have seen our community grow and come to life firsthand at the Ticonderoga Early Learning Center, where I have been volunteering teaching music. What a joy. We are partners for a thriving community. As we look to the future, may we embrace new opportunities with courage, meet challenges with wisdom, and remain faithful to the values that unite us. May we build on the accomplishments of the past while welcoming fresh ideas that may strengthen Silver Bay. We are grateful for our past, confident in our present, and hold great hope for the future. Thank you for joining us today in fellowship.
Yes, okay,
Good morning, everybody. Hi, I'm Beth Whitaker. I know many of you. It's good to see you. Great to see familiar faces. I have the task this morning of reviewing and approving the minutes from last year's annual meeting. So when you came in, I think several tables, the minutes were out, available for you to take along with the agenda for today and the annual report. And so I would like to ask if there are any comments or amendments to be made to the minutes. Oh, I'm hearing myself twice. No comments? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Thank you, Jan Whitaker. Is there a second? Ming Cruzy. Okay, all in favor? Okay, great, thank you.
For the treasurer's report, you'll note in the annual report that it says at the top we have a $558,000 deficit compared to last year's gain of $547,000, and that I describe as a significant improvement, which may be a strange way to put that. The underlying numbers in that are a significant improvement, and the difference between last year and this year is primarily due to the fact that last year we received the employee retention tax credit from the government of $1.5 million and change. So if you take that out of the equation, that is, you'll see that the underlying results were significantly improved year over year, including operating results, operating revenue, of $6.46 million, a 12.7% increase over 2024. Operating expenses were up only 3.5% year over year to $9.3 million, and the non-operating income was up nearly 20% year over year to $2.12 million. So all in, we're very optimistic about the track that Silver Bay is on, and the budget that the board approved for 2026 shows a total deficit excluding depreciation of only $85,000, which we're on track to meet or exceed that number. So, meaning in a good way. So that is the treasurer's report for 2025.
I think that I'm up next. I think everybody can hear me. Hi, I'm Debbie Wattenbarger, and I am in my second year as the president of Silver Bay Council. And I serve in my leadership role along with Chris Kleinhans, the vice president, Ben Brumhall, the treasurer, and Caroline Lawler, the secretary. As you may know, Silver Bay Council is an auxiliary organization of Silver Bay YMCA, and our mission is to support Silver Bay and its board of trustees and the overall Silver Bay preservation and enhancement of the campus. Council members are volunteers dedicated to this, and we try to embody the Silver Bay spirit. We find avenues to volunteer during tidy time, our volunteer work weekends, as well as throughout the year. And we do sometimes also provide fundraising support to Silver Bay to help meet specific needs. Sometimes we provide feedback, sometimes welcome, sometimes not, but we try. And we are always here basically to help as needed. Going back to tidy time, our work weekends, I have a couple of recaps for that. In fall of 2025, we were here in the mid-October. Had a great time. We dealt with housekeeping, we were cleaning and doing cottage inventory. We helped out in the Squire studio where we clean up and organize there. We were working on the grounds. We were clearing leaves from the Children's Pavilion to Tower Point all around Payne Hall. We also worked on our ornament project, so we will hear more about that in a minute, but the ornaments were painted and assembled, and they are handcrafted by our own Natalie Schatz, and they're sold in the store. We also built new shuffleboard scoreboards, so you can take a look at that, those scoreboard signs. And we did trail cleanup, which we usually do, but we also built and installed new kiosks at the trailhead. They're really beautiful. So check those out if you're on a hike. And then in May, we were back for our spring tidy time, Memorial Day weekend. And we were on trails. We did focus on the water bars of James Pond and cleaned and restored those. We did a big cleanup in Squire Studio, getting ready for the summer season. More in the store, we did the boxes for the puzzles that are sold in the store, featuring artwork by Kathy Becker. They are on sale there. Some special projects, we constructed and installed new shed platform and relocated and secured storage shed. We also assisted in the drainage improvements around the tennis courts. And then the big one is we helped out with the Nature Center refresh, and I hope you all have had an opportunity to get down there. It's beautiful. They focus on creating more of an engaging STEM and family-centered environment. And shout out to Jocelyn Longacre. She has just done an amazing job down there. So feel free to go and see that. It's just beyond the Children's Pavilion. Also special shout out to our own CEO, Luke Callahan, because he jumped in and was helping that weekend, and apparently he's got some great carpentry skills. So just so you know. So that was our tidy time, but I know volunteering is wonderful and we do this because we love it. but we know that bottom line happens, so we just wanted to give an update on the volunteers in 2025. Our council members logged an impressive 813 hours during Tidy Time weekends as well. It's really so if you consider what the value of that hour is for each hour, it comes to approximately $29,381.82 in savings for Silver Bay. So thank you all who contributed. We also, for some allocations, we did give some money. So the council allocated a total of $600 for the material for the new kiosks. And we also donated $794.39 for our rocking chair refurbishment. So shout out to Bill Cruzy. And he has been amazing with regards to this. So this is our recaning and restoring our wonderful rocking chairs on the in-porch. So if you've enjoyed rocking on the in-porch and enjoyed those canes, that's why. But you also might see Bill around the in-porch, and he might bring you a project to do. But you can learn how to do this caning project behind this Squire Craft Shop. So it's really an important thing for us to do. We also did an in-kind donation. So I mentioned the Silver Bay store, where we sell ornaments and puzzles and slate coasters. The slate coasters are made by Mark Kleinheitz, one of our council members. So check those out, they're beautiful. And of course the ornaments were cut and created by Natalie Schatz and painted by several of us as well. So they're beautiful. For 2025, these sales amounted to $3,613.15 with 100% proceeds going directly to Silver Bay. So that's the money stuff. Finally, mark your calendars for our next Tidy Time. Anyone is welcome. It's October 16th through 19th. You do not need to be part of council to come and join us. We love having new people. It's so much fun meeting new friends and catching up with old friends, working with our amazing Silver Bay staff. Lodging is available actually at a discount if you're here to volunteer, and there are special family rates. You can find more about Silver Bay on our Silver Bay Council on our Silver Bay website. If you go to About Us, under Volunteers, you can find out more there. And finally, thank you to Carolyn Close. We could not do what we do without her. Appreciate all of your support throughout the year. And also to Carrie Cross, who's helped us with our new, the Volunteer Matter system. So thank you, Carrie, so much. And that's all I have. Thanks, guys.
I'm back. Yes, so I have a short CDO report for this year. I just want to, I will do a couple of quick introductions. Paul Nasrani, our Vice Chair and Chair of Governance, is today we have Jeremy Fisher, our Chair-elect, so he'll have the privilege of doing this next year. And I wanted particularly to welcome our new board members, John Hartley, Jacqueline Rogan, Natalie Schatz, and Nona McPherson. So thank you for joining. I just start out by saying this has been quite an exceptional year for Silver Bay. And before I reflect on some of our accomplishments, I'd like to just take a pause and remember and honor Peter Dolliver. His leadership and his commitment shaped Silver Bay in profound ways, and his mission to guide Silver Bay through years of growth and transformation has really affected a lot of what's going on around here now. So we're grateful for his service, and we carry his legacy forward in our work. So I'm just going to take a minute for us all to remember him. Thank you. We'll just building on what Noni shared, a lot of exciting things are happening here. From the Early Learning Center, which is now in its second and a half year, getting really rooted, and to the remarkable progress you can see at Fisher. There's sort of positive changes all around. And Luke will speak about many more of these specifics, so what I'd like to focus on is the work that the board did this year. Without question, our biggest work this year was the selection of our new Chief Executive Officer. And obviously, you all know that's one of the most important responsibilities of a board. And I wanted to tell everyone that we did conduct a national search, guided by our bylaws and effective governance. And the search committee, which was led by Melissa Adams and Matt Cruzy, thank you, carried out an outstanding process from developing the right job profile based on input from the community, as well as what we know about Silver Bay and past profiles, to recruiting candidates and conducting interviews. They ran the whole process with great diligence and care. And we did leverage YMCA resources, but also other outside resources to draw and cultivate candidates. And we ended up with well over 200 applicants. And from a very, very exceptional field of candidates, we narrowed it down to a handful. And the process was great. It challenged us. We learned a lot. It taught us a lot. And ultimately, it gave us really complete confidence that we had found the right leader for Silver Bay. And Luke Callahan emerged as that CEO. So, Luke. I'll just say Luke does bring the experience and vision and leadership that we need now to prepare us for our next chapter. His background in hospitality and capital project management and carpentry are, they really prepare him well for the challenges ahead and will help him lead our operations and also steward our long-term mission and this remarkable campus. Just as importantly, Luke has the character that I think defines great leadership. He listens carefully, he welcomes new ideas. If you haven't gone to the morning connections, coffee connections with Luke, check it out on Mondays. He approaches challenges with optimism, humility, and determination, and I've already gotten to see some of the fun challenges that have come his way, from the dramatic to the mundane. And he handles them with a real problem-solving attitude. And those are the qualities that matter really deeply at Silver Bay, where the relationships and the mission are just as important as the financials and the strategy. So we're thrilled to welcome Luke to his first annual meeting, and we look forward to many years of leadership. And I'd like to recognize Luke, Melissa, and Matt, and all the search committee who made this transition possible. So another time. So again, as we're approaching the 125th anniversary, it's kind of a remarkable time to look at all this place has witnessed. A century and a quarter, this has been in operation. And generations have gathered here to build friendships, strengthen relationships, strengthen families, deepen faith, enjoy nature, and find renewal. The world has changed a lot over those years, and we've evolved with it, as you can witness, from the Wi-Fi to the happy hour and a half. But I think the essence still, the goal is to remain unchanged. The beauty of Lake George, the timeless architecture, the cottages, the music, the arts, the welcoming spirit, and that extraordinary sense of community that we have here. These are the treasures that we got that are entrusted to us, and we're not just the beneficiaries, we are the stewards. So we're hoping to be able to move that forward and take that as our responsibility. And I guess the headline here is that we've been very committed to building a stronger and more sustainable future. And there are two elements I bring out in this direction, which is we've started with the help of a task force of community members and management to do more longer-term projections so we can actually look out more years and see how our finances will be improving and how we can anticipate seeing yet another one of Dave's wonderful reports with results getting better and Silver Bay being stronger, on stronger financial footing. So that was a big help it just shows how we're evolving the oversight and the ability to project Silver Bay's future. But another very critical step is Bayview, which, it represents an investment in that future, and it is a building, but it's not just a building. So it's about guest access, it's about providing a place for community, it's about the accessibility for all, and the vision is to create a warm and welcoming space, a year-round lodge that's affordable, and while honoring and helping it blend in with the architecture of campus. So the accommodations will better serve our guests, better serve our community, and contribute to the long-term stability of our organization. And we hope that the renovation will also help it complement and fit in with the other beautiful buildings on our campus. So it's just one chapter. I know that there are lots of other things that will come after this to improve our campus, but this seems like the one before us and the one that meets the moment. So the board has made a significant commitment, each of us individually, to contribute to the Bayview campaign. And of course, we're hoping that you all will find a way to do the same. But so that's been the big work of this year. And it was a lot of work for the board. But so where do we stand? We have welcomed an outstanding new CEO. Our financial outlook continues to strengthen. Our membership and visitation has continued to grow, and our significant capital projects are moving forward. So we're looking towards the 125th anniversary and celebration with enthusiasm and confidence. We got good momentum, we're optimistic. And none of this, I would just say, none of this happens without all the people in this room, as you all know from the conversations you have on the porch and in this room and others. Our trustees, our staff, our volunteers, our members, our donors, our guests, the entire Silver Bay community is what makes this place so special. So thank you. That's the report.
Good morning, Silver Bay. Good morning. I'm sorry, I just want to see how many times we can get you guys to do that. Thank you for the kind words, Elise. Honestly, I am truly enthusiastic to be settling into the role of CEO for Silver Bay. What a wild world it's been, but it's been really amazing just being able to connect and interact with the community, connect and interact with the staff, and to see our trajectory. So what is our trajectory? Dave touched on it with his treasurer's report, and financially is always an important one to keep in mind. We're having a great summer. We've had some amazing conferences, some amazing family reunions, and frankly, just a really good momentum that's been carrying us in a fantastic direction. Honestly, I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop because, wow, what a great year. Elise touched on it. The ELC is something that we are truly proud to be able to be doing for the Ticonderoga, Hague, and surrounding communities. It's really been an experience, but what we're finding is it is critical for those local community members that don't have alternative options, that don't have access to the same sort of resources that some other communities have. And frankly, it's allowing us to bring people to the table that didn't really either know about or frankly like Silver Bay for reasons that were arbitrary. We're getting more exposure to our community. We're able to stand up front and be proud of what we're putting out there. And for that, amongst many other reasons, I'm truly proud to be on this team and part of this community. Some of the other things we have going on, capital projects. You'll hear me talk about them a lot, but it's because we've got a lot going on. I'll cover them at a high level because frankly, I've been talking about them almost weekly. But Fisher Gymnasium is probably gonna be wrapped up in the next couple of weeks, which is significant, and that is the first phase of that renovation. Anyone that's been in the gymnasiums recently sees that not only did the contractors do a great job insulating, but they did a fantastic job matching the historic aesthetic that is in that space, allowing it to expand its use. We still haven't got to the point of putting in the HVAC. That'll be part of phase 2, and we're actively pursuing some grants that'll allow us to get that brought home. But even as it is, it makes a difference where when you've got a really hot day, it's not warming up as fast as it used to. It's retaining some of that cooler temperature that left over from the evening. When you have a really cool winter, it shouldn't be referred to as Siberia anymore, which is what I've heard from our pickleball players. I'm really excited about that project coming through, but there's so many other things we have going on. Slim Point renovation for phase 1 is complete. Anyone that's been down there, it looks stunning. Hat off to DeFranco and his team, because they did a really amazing job, not only taking the plans and layout that Peter and the LA group put together, but making sure that we were implementing key native plantings that will allow us to retain that, to prevent it from eroding into the lake. I love the fact that it's no longer a goose pond. I wanted to touch on the ADA ramp that I had mentioned previously. We are still putting it in. Warren County has offered a few extra hoops for us to jump through, and we are doing so. The contractor is eager to get that project underway, so I would expect that by this fall we have that going and moving in the right direction, continuing to make ourselves improved for accessibility. We recognize that this property was not built with accessibility in mind, because it was built at a time that wasn't the foremost consideration. But as we continue to renovate, as we continue to look at the property, we're going to continue keeping that at the forefront. We have, thanks to a very generous donation, an irrigation system that has officially been stamped to be moving forward. So you'll start seeing some various workers in front of William Boyd, the inn circle, the courtyard behind the auditorium, and, if I can work it, the front of the auditorium. This is significant, as if you think about last summer and this summer, we had months that we didn't have rain, and the whole property turned brown. And while we continue to want to invite in fresh faces, we can't do it in a way that looks like we're in a state of disrepair. We need to be improving our buildings, we need to be improving our infrastructure, but we also need to be working to improve our aesthetic, because frankly, just seeing a family walk across the lawn in bare feet and really connecting with Silver Bay is just as important as finding the right way to put air conditioning in various spaces. So, Elise mentioned, I'm new to the role. Well, I've had a few people ask me, Luke, what'd you promise to get it? What's your vision? Where are you going? And I like to be able to answer that with, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. We have a really great thing going for us, and I really wanted to bring it all under sort of one umbrella. We've struggled with that sometimes. How do you connect spiritual life with tennis? How do you connect the Early Learning Center with happy hour and a half? And what do we do to try and make sure that we have a good path forward that will allow us to be able to continue honoring and respecting our mission? I was fortunate enough to be on the strategic planning committee last year when we were doing our strategic plan, and we kept calling it, well, what's the secret sauce? What's the special sauce? How do people connect with Silver Bay? And I think my answer for it, and I invite all of you to tell me otherwise, but so far I haven't received a lot of pushback, is well-being. Whenever somebody connects with Silver Bay, it's because they're finding a state of well-being. It might be getting spiritually recentered. It might be that they are going down to play pickleball and really relaxing and enjoying themselves, physically engaging. It also might be just sitting on a rocking chair on the inn porch, or sitting down at Slim Point in an Adirondack chair and mentally relaxing, reading their book. There are so many different things that we do here, and they all tie back to a state of well-being. What I like about this is that it is not a changing of course. It is not a flipping of the table. It is something we're already doing. If we're able to continue doing this with intention, we will be able to continue to welcome more and more people into Silver Bay to feel that same sense of refreshment. I'm honestly grateful for it. So where am I focusing? A lot of this role is trying to make sure that Silver Bay will be here for many more years to come. As Dave reflected, some of those numbers seem daunting, but when you compare them to where we've been, we're on a really good trajectory. I'm going to continue focusing on our financial sustainability. I'm going to be looking at our infrastructure and seeing what we need to do. Our team has been doing a fantastic job doing it all along the way, but from water pipes that are leaking to waste pipes that need to be replaced, buildings that need refreshment, to total overhauls. Elise mentioned the Bayview Capital Campaign. It's a wonderful project because it's not going to displace any of our current guests, and it allows us the opportunity to invite new people in. Beyond that, it sits empty a lot of the summer. That's a big deal. That building is sitting in a prime location on one of the most beautiful lakes in the country. And for that to sit empty because people, frankly, don't want anything to do with it is a problem. So let's take this. This is one of our lower hanging fruits. I have other projects that need to be able to get moved forward. I was just in Hepburn yesterday, and I want to see us find the right way to get this property back up to snuff, so to speak. But we need to take the low hanging fruit first. So that's why we place the priority on Bayview, because that'll generate a significant amount of revenue once it's renovated. But beyond that, it's key to our long-term infrastructure plans. I do want to follow up and touch on the 125th for next year. That's a really big deal. 125 years as an association, as the Silver Bay Association for Christian Conferences and Training. Wow. I mean, what a cool thing to be able to say out loud. Next year, we're going to have different events throughout the year that try to honor both our history and legacy here, but also talk about where we're trying to go. The biggest one, and here's your save the date, please put it on your calendar, buy your tickets once they get posted, is July 30th is going to be our gala. We're going to be doing it down in the South Field, and we are going to have a rockin' good time. I truly think that this is going to be something to be remembered. Put it on your calendars because you don't want to miss it. So beyond all of that, I also want to mention a focus on the mission. You know, we do some really amazing stuff here. We're creating amazing community gatherings. We're creating opportunities for people to connect, and we'll keep that in mind. I actually want to share, it's close to a quote, but it was paraphrasing because I didn't think to write it down until after he said it to me. One of my last conversations with Peter Dolliver. Believe in the mission. Believe in yourselves and in one another. It's then that you'll see many great things happen. And don't ever forget when you have challenges, it's not 5 o'clock yet. It stunned me. I was on the phone and I just froze. And then I put my phone on speaker and started trying to type in the exact memory that I could, because that was impactful. I'm truly honored to be in the CEO role, working with the staff, working with the volunteers, and working with the community. And we will continue doing our best to keep things moving in a good direction. That brings me to the Silver Bay Volunteer of the Year. Volunteers. Silver Bay revitalized the Volunteer of the Year Award in 2024 with the addition of the volunteer tree in the William Boyd Center lobby. This year, we felt it fitting to present the award at the annual meeting so our volunteers could be recognized in front of our entire membership. Each year, the recipient's stained glass leaf is added to the tree. The past year's recipients include Pam and Rob Fisher, Carol Canis, Ken Parlin, and Bruce Scott. This year, we have a few. Mark and Chris Kleinhans. Mark and Chris are members of the Lutheran Conference who began volunteering through the Silver Bay Council. They serve as Tidy Time co-chairs and help organize work weekends in both the fall and spring. Over the past few years, they've answered the call as weekend warriors, joining us for several weekends in the fall and helping out in food service. They're known to go above and beyond, working longer than their volunteer shift to make sure that staff is supported in completing the task at hand. Most recently, they helped on our largest change day, getting ready for the Lutheran Conference this summer at the start of their vacation. I'm going to go through all of them, and then I'm going to ask any that are present to come up to the stage real quick. Bill Cruzy is a lifelong member of Silver Bay, who is best known for his role in Silver Bay Council championing the caning of the rocking chairs. This summer, you can join Bill on the front porch of the inn to learn how he canes the repair seats. He literally will bring a seat right to you. Bill is not the only volunteer in the family. His children and wife have served on the board. Bill has recruited his grandchildren to volunteer at times and help alongside him as he supported housekeeping for many of our Saturday change days, passing the tradition of service and stewardship. Mimi Bear. Mimi may be best known by the Silver Bay membership as the person, along with her brother, who runs the Monday Night Bridge program, but she is best known by the Silver Bay staff for her support of housekeeping on change days. During 2020, as the entire Silver Bay team was turning over the property, Mimi was right alongside us, working circles around many of the staff. She continued to help every Saturday change day up until recently as last year, and still supports housekeeping when she's able to. Mimi, Bill, Chris, Mark, if you're able to come up on the stage and join us.
From Silver Bay, all of you, thank you. Thank you.
As is demonstrated with our volunteers of the year, it takes all of us. Sometimes you can give some of your time, sometimes you can contribute, and sometimes it's just a matter of being around, being involved. So on that, I'll close out my report with a thank you to all of you.
And next on the agenda is question and answers. So anybody, we have mics in both aisle. If you'd like to come up and share or ask a question, please feel free.
Original.
If you want to get outside, I can't blame you.
Good morning. My name is Leah Cruzy. Thank you so much for this wonderful report and for everybody's service. My inquiries, I've heard inquiries around campus of folks who may want to make a modest but meaningful contribution in some way to something concrete on campus. That might be a bench or something regarding a particular activity. And that may not be the purview of the board, has been my alumni liaison kind of feedback. And there may be ways to make that contribution, and I'm not sure if the board has a way to do it, but I'm not actually sure what to say back otherwise. So I'm curious for actionable hot tips to be able to contribute meaningfully, but what do we say, basically? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. Honestly, while we would prefer to see most contributions go toward operations, because that is really the most important thing for Silver Bay, is to keep our lights on and to keep moving forward and long-term sustainability. If there are particular needs, we do keep a list of things that might be a good project for someone to get involved in financially. So you can see me at the office, and I'm happy to provide that to you. And it has suggestions of things like, what it costs to support a camper coming to Silver Camp, or what it might cost to support a student at the Early Learning Center. But it also might be a project here that we might need some help with at the boathouse or somewhere else on campus. So yes, we do keep a list of needs, but like I said, we do prefer the unrestricted operational support most importantly. Thank you for the question, though.
Anyone else have a question? I'm also asking the chat online, so we'll wait a second for them. There's nothing coming through.
All these positive changes.
I think we're just inundated them. They're still absorbing.
How do you like the venue? This will probably be a little tight in Morse Hall, huh?
Well, and last year's crowd was standing room only at Morse Hall, so we wanted to make sure that if people wanted to be able to come and catch up on what's going on in Silver Bay, I don't think there's a better setting out there.
Can I just give a quick shout?
Hello.
Can I give a quick shout out to Aaron and Talia who make this happen for us so that everyone online can do it. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do all of this.
Good morning, I'm Robin Emery, live down the street, Robin Cinque Emery. Just a thank you for supporting the shows and the arts because it's been fabulous. It's back and everyone here I know appreciates this and all the hard work that Jocelyn and all of the group are doing. But in addition to that, my 40-year-old son, who drives all the way from New Jersey to hear Jammy Buffet tonight, and last week or the week before to hear the Holy Rollers. He Googles all this stuff. These are groups with following. These are really, really high-level rock groups, whatever you want to call them, alternative, but a little bit of a shift, trying to reach out to a little bit of a different age group, and we need to keep that going, and we need to get it out there. And he said they're like fish fans. He said if you give them a place to stay, you know, they'll come. So that's why you drove all the way up.
I'm sure Jammy Buffett will be a bit more entertaining than we are. So I guarantee if you come back and sit here tonight, you'll have a good time.
Actually, I have a sort of a question, but it's not really a question because I know the answer, but when people do come to us and we might not have the answer to the question, what is the best way for us to, or tell people when they come up to us, who do we go to? Who do they go to? Do they go on the website? Is there a place? Is there an information? How do we reach the board? How do we reach anyone on staff? Is the best way to do that?
So that's a good question, Doug. I honestly want to try and answer it somewhat broadly. It depends on what topic you're trying to talk about. You know, if your concern is around the rackets or the beach, then talking to the staff that are there is the right way to be able to advance that. If your concern is about the different investments that Silver Bay is making in the property, that's a different person. Chat probably doesn't want to have that conversation. And in which case I would encourage them to come up to admin to have a conversation with myself or any of the team that's up there because we're going to keep moving. The general operations, the right place to start the conversation is probably the front desk. And they're not going to be able to answer any or everything. They're going to be able to give a sort of broad scope, but also more importantly, direct you in the, point you in the right direction. And allow us to continue following through on answering some of those questions. We continue to try and do what we can. And finally, I'll just offer up that I've been really enjoying my Monday morning coffee connections. I have got to know a lot of the community. I have heard both great things and not so great things. But it's important because if I'm not aware of it, then I'm not going to be able to try and put any intention behind fixing it. So we're always here to do what we can to serve.
I always just tell them, ask Luke.
Jeb Borey, just a short comment. I think it's really cool to see the board and some of the staff here. I think it's nice to be able to put faces to names you see in email. So thank you for arranging this.
Fred Coleman. Our family started coming in the late 1980s, and we thought we were becoming a three-generation Silver Bay family. Some of you have heard the story that at my aunt's 95th birthday, there was a table of pictures, and I found a picture of my grandfather, my father as a child, in front of the inn. They were in the mission field in India and came here for respite time in the 20s and 30s. What this is leading into, though, is part of what my children remember is the international EMS. part of what we celebrated last weekend at the Memorial for Mary Ann was the international visitors and guests. I don't mean to be specifically political in this, but I mean to be hopeful. What's the vision for Silver Bay's connection to the larger world? I love the investment in local community. We should be doing every bit of that we can. But what is our investment in having guests, speakers, EMPs, connections, retreats that bring the wider world here into Silver Bay? I go each year to Africa and work there. I've worked a lot in Southeast Asia. The broad world is part of my family's heritage. So I'd love to hear anybody's vision about how Silver Bay can be a much more international place in the next 2 decades.
That's kind of interesting. Thank you. Honestly, our place in the international world is not something that we have discussed extensively. You know, we have found ourselves being a bit of a hub from our international employees that we continue to bring back year after year, some of which that have worked here significantly longer than I have if you factor in their summers, to the groups that want to come and do a retreat with us because, frankly, we're an amazing spot even in the international scene. I can't make any specific promises to our international outreach because currently our focus is to try and make sure that we're shoring ourselves up here. But that does not mean that we are not open to trying to find the right opportunities to be able to be a part of that greater stage. So, congratulations, you caught me on an off foot.
If I could just add
Chris.
to that. And if I could just add to that, we do welcome international missionaries through our pastoral respite program. We've welcomed missionaries from the Ukraine, from India, from Indonesia, and other places as well. We love to do that. Generally, international ministries have a few months of furlough, and part of that time we do invite them to Silver Bay to be a part of spending 6 days or a week with us, just enjoying time as a family in a different context. We love to extend that opportunity to them. We also have an outreach program to international university students. We've welcomed students here from all around the world to come and spend time with us as part of an interfaith retreat, university retreat. And intentionally, we are also looking into the opportunity to welcome international students specifically to Silver Bay during January, when many universities and colleges will actually close the doors of the dorms. And it's too far for the students to travel home. We think it's an opportunity to invite those international students to come spend some time with us here at Silver Bay. A little bit of a down month for us sometimes with the colder temperatures, but we have a lot of hospitality and welcome here, and we would love to see them become more of a part, more ingratiated into who we are as a community. So we are really actively looking for opportunities to extend that outreach and welcome students from all around the world.
And just to add on to that, in the past couple of years, we have seen groups from various countries. We've had research groups from almost all 7 continents visit in November. That was last year. And also, I believe Carolyn does a really great job. We do an international night where we celebrate our staff. They cook meals from various countries, and we gather and we eat and we celebrate. We listen to fun music. I also think the World Cup did that a little bit for us this year as well, where not only did staff get together to watch the World Cup, but it created kind of a fun bond between some of the staff in a way that we were, you know, is England going to win? Probably not. It'll be the United States. We knew it wasn't going to be the United States, but we said it. And so I do think that we are trying to continue to build on that experience for the international employees, and we've been welcoming groups from various countries. I've had family reunions come from Europe. We have in 2028, an all-Chinese family reunion coming. We have the Chinese Christian Church of Greater Albany, where they help us actually put up signage because not everyone can read English. So we do work with various groups, and we're continuing to welcome them in, whether it's from different countries or different backgrounds. We continue to welcome them in, so we're just going to keep building on that.
Thank you, Lindsay and Chris, for catching me on my off foot.
Does that work?
There you go.
One thing to just add to that is that if there are groups that people know in your communities, that would really benefit from being in Silver Bay, one of the focuses is to trying to bring more new people, new conferences to be and experience Silver Bay, because once they do, they often become long-term members, volunteers, and guests. And so we have a fantastic, this management team is just always adapting to what new conferences need. So I'd encourage as well, while a group may not be a focus, that we're actually targeting specifically, and that was a great question that was brought up, please refer groups, or there's a group that you think could benefit from this experience, reach out to management. We welcome people here. So the more that we can refer, the greater that we'll become.
Thank you very much. Paul Farmer, and some of you have heard the story of when I married into the Silver Bay family. Connie and her family had started to come in the mid-40s, and when I was dating her in Cornell, I kept hearing about this place called Silver Bay. Finally, some years later, she said, well, we were close enough now, we moved to Pittsburgh, just further out west, and she said, I couldn't use this as an excuse anymore, so reluctantly I agreed to come to Silver Bay. But she had to agree to the bargain that the following year we were going to go to Paris. 24 years later, we made it back to Paris. But what I wanted to mention was simply an idea of kind of the rebirth of the lecture series and programs that used to be really critical to a lot of people coming here. That's kind of fallen by the wayside over the years. Back in the 80s, for example, someone who still comes here gave a 5-day lecture series on the playwrights, emerging playwrights of Africa and Eastern Europe. Also, the person who had been in charge of the embassy in Tehran when it was taken over was here for a week. You could have breakfast with the guy in addition to going through a series. So I'd like a little bit of thought given to kind of serious multi-day lecture series or one-offs. We're not Chautauqua, but we can, I think, use a little bit more of what that used to be here at Silver Bay. So I would just encourage some thinking about how we might start bringing that back. And I know there are a lot of people who come here who are quite capable of pro bono and giving lectures. So just a little bit more of an emphasis on that aspect. Thank you.
Thank you. Lectures are definitely on our radar as something that we need to be paying attention to. We've ebbed and flowed even just since my time here, where we have gone from very few to one of the years we had a ton of them. And frankly, it got to a point that there weren't enough people attending some of those various lectures, so the people that were giving the lecture didn't feel like it was worth their returning. To this year, where it's as simple as, the timing of the lecture being at the same time as Vespers, well, that's a competing timeline. We'll continue to look at the lectures in general and try and do our best to continue tweaking it, because while we are not at Chautauqua, we could use a little Chautauqua. Thank you.
I don't know if we praise everyone. Amy Pearden, I don't know if we praise everyone for the things that we already do. And some of that may be wearing our Silver Bay t-shirt where we travel. Dave Ingray introduced me to this special program called Houses to Home. And a group of 8 Silver Bay amps for our 2 generations of Silver Bay amps, 4 children of ours who were current amps, and 4 adult amps who all worked together, traveled to Guatemala, and we built 2 houses in a week. And Dave was part of a crew that probably has built 5 houses. When we went to his church, we had 200 people in a room. We said, who's been there? I think everyone stood up. How many people have been there 5 times? They still stood. by the end of the questions, I think, I don't know, at least 25 people had been there 20 times. And this is a group from New Jersey that started the program. So I think a lot of us go places and do a lot of things internationally, and I think the more we wear our Silver Bay shirts out and we praise what we do, we show where we've been and what we do. So I think our students go places and we can show off where we've been, but just what we did ourselves that one summer, and it was just 1 week to Guatemala, that we can show our impact. But bringing more students back and getting over, there were 17 visas declined this year for our students. I don't know if that was the case, but I don't know how we combat, how we get our students here to work. And inviting our international guests that are already here back would be great.
Thank you.
I'm Kim Cruzy. You might know my brother on the board and my parents and sister Leah. One idea, since we are so technically advanced, is how Silver Bay can take advantage of different groups over the year and do, whether it's Zoom calls or Teams calls, to bring together those EMS that have been here before and can bring people together to talk about what the Silver Bay experience is. Knowing that we have EMS in training, that's another age group to target. And then the same idea for the lecture series. Maybe not have a formal gathering in a hall, but have something on a porch where someone could each day, a family week, just sit in a corner, and people that want to talk about a subject, there could be a team lead that offers information and pulls information, because we do have a very rich audience and attendee. But thank you for keeping what Silver Bay is going. I know my family has been in it, and new families have too. So thank you.
Thank you.
May Cruzy here, and I do want to let you know how much I've enjoyed this summer. Not only to see all, I think this is a fabulous team. I am thrilled to death that, as we age, it's coming around again. So I appreciate that. I've also, the busybody that I am, I ask people, oh, where are you from? So on and so forth. There's a lot of new people here. And I think to the point that we want to open opportunities. Great job pulling the local communities in, okay? I'm still looking for challenges where people live within 10 minutes of here, and they still don't feel that they should be coming unless they're specifically invited. We're working on that, I understand. And I absolutely love the idea of the lectures. That was what it was when we came. Every morning, every night. And those are opportunities when we gather to go into the lecture, we get to know people, because we self-select for those lectures. And then we gather afterwards to talk about it. Remember that? And those are great gathering places. And Lucas, the porch is so important to catch those little conversations, watch the little kids toddle around, and then the parents, you praise the kid, you got the parents here for the rest of your life. So those are really good things. But going into the 125th, we need to, I'm sorry, I don't mean to say you, but we need to remember the people that don't make it up anymore. For some reason, we started the porch sale a long time ago. These ladies, we formed a group. We're on Zoom and we talk to them at least twice a month. Lois Nassau celebrated her 100th birthday. Martha Van who's up the street, was here for a little bit. She's 96. But 98. But what I'm saying is, for development, we need to be hitting them at the right time. memories. So I'm hoping there may be a team putting together some old pictures. Those are stories we don't want to lose. We have such new staff, which is wonderful. But there's a lot of stories, and every one of you need to be filling those forms out. I mean, me too. Thank you.
I think that was a great statement. It gave us lots to. Lindsay, do you have something? Are you? No.
So I love that you said that. We do have a group of people, a task force, working on the 125th, and it includes longtime Silver Bay people, some staff, community members, and exactly what you said. So some of those celebrations are ways that we're looking to revisit our history, include things that'll be virtual or some emails, and we are asking in more ways than the board has been amazing and the council in having the cards for people to fill out. But we'll be doing that as well in some of the cottages and hotel rooms for people to share their stories or where they came from. And we're gonna, request that people send in some videos or photos. In Fisher, we're hanging old staff shirts from the different decades, and we're really trying to make it a celebration where people are sharing what Silver Bay is to them, not just what Silver Bay is to us. And so I love that you said that, because we are planning on doing some of those things, spoiler alert. And it will all then be the gala at the end, but we understand that not everyone can still make it to Silver Bay, and we want to meet them where they are too. So I just appreciate you saying that.
So now, So now when somebody asks you, how can I share my stories, or how can I share how much I want to celebrate Silver Bay, you can tell them to go talk to Lindsay.
Or you can look in the snippets coming up, and you might find a way to do it there too.
Yeah. On that very wonderful note, I think we've hit our time, and if people have further questions or comments, I suggest you join Luke on the porch on Monday, or you can join Tuesdays with trustees at the happy hour and a half. We get the better deal, I think. But in any case, it's been wonderful having a meeting with you today, and thank you very much, and I am calling this meeting to an end.